This week's lectionary text is Malachi 3, 1 through 4. And in this text, we have a messenger who is sent to the people. The returnees from the Babylonian exile are now in Judah. There's a messenger sent from the Lord, and part of the messenger's role is to purify the descendants of Levi and also to help to restore proper worship. In this text, the identity of the messenger remains a mystery, so there's nothing specific about who exactly the messenger is. But interpreters over the centuries have questioned and had some ideas about who it might be. So, for example, one text has Elijah mentioned. In the New Testament, in the Gospels, we have connections made between John the Baptist and Elijah. Our first inclination is to think about the text through the prism of our own experience. What does the text mean for me? What can I take away from the text? Who is the messenger for me? Rather than thinking through, investigating, finding out more about the particular historical and literary context of this text. So it's important that we look at the larger context before we jump to the appropriation in our modern times. So the link that I'm making to swing back to the Malachi text is that in some ways what we do with the film Lincoln, I also see many times people do with biblical texts. When we look at the movie Lincoln, often we're not really paying attention to the historical issues regarding the Lincoln presidency, but rather looking at it through our own experience. Lots of people make connections between the Lincoln presidency and the presidency of President Obama for lots of different reasons. Both have a sort of calm rhetoric, both in some ways are viewed as outsiders to DC politics, both attempt to get major legislation passed. But I think the danger is that we sometimes tend to force these parallels and link them in ways that don't really allow us to understand more about the particularities of their service. It's important before we start to say, who is Lincoln for us and who is Lincoln in our own time, that we look more closely at Lincoln the man and Lincoln the president and all of the things that work together during his presidency.